Hi everybody, this is of course PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. We're on the PlayStation 4 and the gameplay you're watching is a chicken dinner that I got a few days ago on, in my opinion, the best map in PUBG Vikendi, which is sadly going away on console on January the 30th when Karakin comes to the public game, but it will be coming back in the future. However, although the chicken dinner gameplay is what you're kind of going to be watching, and I'm going to have the whole thing for posterity, what I wanted to talk about in this video are the things I would change to improve, in my opinion, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Now, the idea of these videos, I guess, ultimately, is the hope that someone from the PUBG developer, say Bluehole, may watch this video and go, "Oh right, that's great, we're working on those things," or maybe we didn't realise these things were so important. Now, my credentials, I've put thousands of hours into PUBG ever since it came out on Xbox. In the game trial process, I bought an Xbox to play PUBG on, despite the fact that I'm a PlayStation 4 player. I'm heavily invested in this game. However, I don't play it as much as I used to. Because there is a lot more competition out there for quality shooters. I think PUBG was very lucky in the fact that Battlefield 5 was so rubbish over the last sort of 18 months. But now, especially with the likes of Call of Duty this year, Modern Warfare 2019 being so good, and we've probably got the Battle Royale version of that coming out soon. You've got games like DayZ fully released on console now, which is, I know it's a different sort of survival game, but it takes people away. You've got things like Hunt Showdown popping up. Fortnite's going good, Apex is going good. I think PUBG, if it wants to stay popular in the run-up to the new consoles coming out in the holiday season, Christmas sort of 2020, they need to make a few changes. I mean, undoubtedly, when we get the new consoles, we'll be playing a much more advanced version of PUBG, where the graphics are better, the frame rate's better, all this sort of stuff. But there's some core problems that make the game, I think, a little bit frustrating for players, well, for me anyway, that I think they should change. So, what do I think they need to work on first? Well, the first thing for me is the menu and the UI design of this game, especially when you boot it up and you've got to decide, do you want to go into the settings, do you want to go into the training mode, do you want to change, are you playing solos, duo, squads, all that sort of stuff. They need to get a professional designer in to look at that menu and just sort it out. Come on guys, I can't tell you how to do it. All I really know is what's bad, and I know that the PUBG splash screen and menu is bad. It's too confusing, you're trying to use too many buttons. I think really it's based around using a mouse and keyboard, so you just click on options, but where you're having to use the shoulder buttons and the trigger buttons on the console, it's just not very good. Needs redesigning. It's fine to have a different menu system for console and PC. Honestly, we're not that bothered about that. And kind of going on from that, at the same time they employ a new kind of UX, user experience person, I think they should employ a new designer for the skins in the game, the character skins, the vehicle skins, the weapon skins, parachutes, backpacks, all this sort of stuff, all these different skins, because there is a fantastic opportunity with PUBG to have lots of different styles. They don't have to be garish and horrible like Fortnite or Apex. We can have some serious skins, we can have serious army uniforms, we can have interesting camos on our parachutes and on our vehicles, and at the moment they're just not that good. And that means that the battle pass isn't that appealing to someone if you're not a really hardcore PUBG player who play the game all the time. Because at some point, I mean, I've always argued in the past that if you play a game a lot, like PUBG, that was a budget release when it came out, it's not an expensive game, that you can support the developer with the battle pass to keep money going into it. But because I don't actually play the game that much anymore, I would probably not buy the battle pass. There's the next one. I'm not probably not going to buy the one that comes out on January the 30th because I just don't play it enough. And more importantly, the stuff that's in it just doesn't look good enough. A great example of that are the kill stack guns. I'm not sure what they're exactly called, but when you when you look at them, I've got the one for the AWM, which was in the first Battle Pass, I think, and I've got another one. And you can buy them in the store as well for battle points or for real money. And they're dreadful. You know, sometimes the colours are okay, but the actual counter that has the number of kills that you've got for that gun looks like something out of a 1950s UK gas meter, or a 1970s car mileometer. It is incredibly bad. All they need to do is go over to Call of Duty, almost any Call of Duty, and look at the skins of the guns in there, and they're all way better than anything we've really had in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Very, very disappointing. And I think if they were better skins, and they kind of gated those skins behind the Battle Pass, so the only way that you could get them would be by buying the Battle Pass and working through the game, more people would buy the Battle Pass and play the game more. Which would keep money coming into the game, which is what we want, and we want to keep it going through this year, so that when we go into the new consoles, there's still a decent player population. Excuse me while I just adjust my mic. Okay, so next thing they need to do, I think, is they need to have map selection, and not have the just the random situation we have at the moment, where we're probably going to have a dedicated map with the new season. So we're going to have Karakin, and then you're going to be able to play Sanhok, Erangel and Miramar, a random combination of those three. I think they've got to, with crossplay, we surely have got enough players playing this game at the same time where you can just have all the maps, and you can have a tick box against each map, and then you can have another tick box that says play the first map that becomes available, or the next tick box should say something like no, I want to play these in order. So you could say, right, I like Erangel and Miramar, and you could tick that I'll play the first one available. So you just play Erangel, and if Erangel's the first one to get into next, you keep playing Erangel. But you say I play them in order, which means that once you played Erangel, you would have to wait in a queue until a Miramar game became available, and then you would play Miramar. Or someone like myself who maybe just wanted to play Vikendi, I could put Vikendi. And to be honest, I don't mind if there's a 5-minute gap between lobbies. I'll go and make a cup of coffee. Just give me that timer. It's 5 minutes to the next Vikendi map. Great. I'll go and make a cup of coffee. I'll go to the toilet. I'll go and make myself comfortable. Because one thing I can't stand in PUBG is where you come and you've only got like an hour to play, or even less, and you sit down and you think, right, yeah, here we go. And then you play Sanhok 4 times in a row. And that it's just not fun. It's frustrating, and it makes you think, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to play Sanhok 4 times in a row and have an okay time? Might be alright. Or would I rather play Call of Duty and have a really good time for half an hour? Don't get the buzz that you get from PUBG, but I have a less frustrating experience. So I think you have to bring in map selection like that and give people the choice. If they want to queue up for 10 minutes waiting for the map of their choice, let them. Don't force upon them the fact that they've got to play maps that they might not be too fond of. But the people who want to have quick play, who want to be jumping into games, let them tick that box, and then they could do that as well. And you'll notice here that almost all of these points I'm making aren't about the actual gameplay or gunplay about this game, because it is amazing. We all know that PUBG feels great to play. Okay, it's a little bit janky, it's a little bit glitchy, but using the guns, driving the vehicles is all really, really cool. The way it sounds, the way it looks is excellent. Next thing I think they need to do is they need to introduce a decent respawn modes. We've got war mode and we've got custom games, but we've got this new map, Karakin, which is nice and small, which means that it will load very well on Xboxes and PlayStations. So let's have war mode on that island, and let's introduce something like a TDM and a domination mode as well, but with a quick play option as well. Not so you go into the menu and then you pick a lobby, and then you've got to wait for the person who's in command of that lobby to actually press go, or they might kick you out. No. I want quick play. War mode, where it's just a lobby you go into, and after so many seconds, say it's you're going to have 60 people because it's Karakin, say, As soon as you've got 40 people, that's it. There's a 10-second countdown and the game starts. None of this waiting around for someone else who's probably gone off to have a shit, to click go, because that's really frustrating. And they're missing out on something. They really, really are. So decent respawn modes. Put them on Carrick in and make them with an official queue so it works properly. We've got cross-platform play between Xbox and PlayStation, but we need cross-platform parties as well. You can do it on Call of Duty. Let's do it on PUBG, so people from PlayStation and Xbox can come together. And also, I think, let's go the whole hog. Let's have cross-platform with PC if people want it. So if people from Xbox and PlayStation want to go up against PC players, they can. And again, that's all about making that player base bigger, so the queues for the maps are much, much shorter. And you've got people closer together geographically, which means that you get less laggy games. Now, the one gameplay thing that I'm going to talk about is grenades. I think they need to reduce the damage that grenades give, or reduce their area of effect, something like that, because there's too many times, and this really puts me off playing PUBG now, where I'll be playing a solo game, I'll be getting into the top 10 situation, and more often than not, so more than 50% of the time, I'll be killed by a grenade. You'll set yourself up, you think, right, I'm going to have a gunfight with this guy, it's going to be good fun, and then maybe he's got more grenades than I have, or he's better at throwing grenades, and you die to a grenade explosion, and that sucks. It really does. I don't play PUBG to throw grenades around. Forget it. If you're playing duos and squads, if you're in a building, forget it. The squad will rock up, the duo will rock up, they'll lob grenades through the windows, and that's it. You've had it. You're dead. So tone it down. Tone it down, please, please, please. And then I think we need to have these changes, the PC and console changes, things like the new seasons, the new season passes, the new battle passes. Need to have them all at the same time. Don't make the console players feel like they're second-class citizens. We want to feel part of the same community. I know that right now on PC they're enjoying the new motorised hang gliders, which are amazing. They are so much fun, the motorised hang gliders. And yet on console we've got to wait, until the 30th of January. Now I know people will say, well, that's because Sony and Xbox, Microsoft, they've got to go through the certification process. I don't care. Call of Duty can do it, AAA titles can do it, surely PUBG with all their money and resources can do it, so that we flick a button and then we're all enjoying the same things at the same time. Competitive PUBG is going through a really tough time at the moment. There's lots of teams who are quitting out, and I know other people have said this as well, but I think it's partly due to the fact that apart from having some banners that appear on the map that say, Call of Duty PlayerUnknown's PUBG League popping up, there's nothing really in the game that you can click on that will then take you to be able to watch and understand PUBG competitive. Because trust me, once you watch the few games of PUBG competitive, it makes you want to play PUBG for more and get better at it. It really does. I think because when you're watching games like Call of Duty or CSGO, the players on it are so fast and their sensitivities are so high, and the game modes they play are different to the popular ones, that it's hard often to relate to what's going on and relate that to you. But when you watch competitive PUBG, you can really relate to what the players are doing as they're driving around and they're setting up by houses and they're getting into gunfights. They might be a lot more accurate than you are, and they might have better strategies and better communications. But overall, what's going on is pretty similar to what you'll do on an everyday basis, where when you watch a professional Call of Duty team play Search and Destroy or Hardpoint, they're on they might as well be playing a different game, and they need to use competitive PUBG as this massive advertisement for what an excellent game this is. And you should be able to when you turn on PUBG, there should be a big screen in the bottom right corner or something that has competitive PUBG. You can click on there, you can go through, you can watch games, you can buy merch, you can support your teams, all this sort of stuff to really help that ecosystem. And all these recommendations that I'm giving, they're all feeding into, I think what they need to do is they need to make PUBG free to play. That's my final recommendation. We need more players. In a battle royale where you've got 100 people fighting each other, you need to have a massive player base on console and PC, so that you can have a really good distribution of servers across the world, across Europe, not putting them all in the same place, say one, because I think that's what they've done in the Europe. They put them all in Germany. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing in America as well, which leads to the problem where the people who are close to the servers have an advantage over people who are further away. Whereas the more players you have, there's more money coming into the game, because people are buying things like battle passes and skins and stuff like that. And then you can afford to have servers all over the place. So there can be a British server, there can be an Irish server, there can be a French servers, there can be, and that makes the game more enjoyable to play, because it's less laggy, it's less frustrating, and it is more fun. And then the battle pass will become the way that you monetize the game. As I said before, if they get some decent designers so that the skins are actually worth having in the battle pass, people will find that great value for money. A tenner every 3 months, if you've got 100,000 people doing that, they're going to be making a lot of money that way. And then we can go into the new console releases at the end of 2020 with a good healthy player base of players who then can install a PC equivalent version of PUBG to their new consoles and play it that way. It's going to be very exciting indeed. So there we go. They are my recommendations for changing and improving PUBG. I hope you kind of agree with me. Put what you think down below in the comments box. Are there things I've missed out? Are there things that I have got wrong? Does it in fact not need changing, PUBG? And are you still enjoying it? Or maybe like me, you really enjoy PUBG, but the competition from some other games out there has just become so strong that you spend a lot less time playing it than you used to. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more of the same. Thank you very much, and I will now leave you with another 12 or so minutes of the chicken dinner gameplay on Vikendi, the best map in PUBG, as a tribute to this amazing map, and I hope it's not too long before it comes back to the public game after it leaves around January the 30th. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.